Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you Mrs. Lightey. Now, Mrs. Lightey is a peer light fitting, of course. Now, she has made a lot of appearances in my videos in the past and everything. She is Lightey's mother. Now, Mrs. Lightey I've had for probably, I think 15 years, or maybe even more or less. I can't remember when I got her, but I did get her from a neighbour. Okay, or the fitting at least, before I turned it into to Lightey's mother. Now, Mrs. Lightey, of course, there's a lot of history of her. She sits there in that corner of the room, and in some of my videos, you may have seen her, but I really haven't made a proper video of her. So this year, what I did was I actually gave her a little bit of a makeover because she was pretty filthy and everything. I hadn't really been paying much attention to her, so I thought, well, what the heck? Let's get her and clean her up and get her refurbished and ready for a video. And that's what I did. Now, Mrs. Lightey was originally chambered in F36T8, and she only was a double, but over time, I took the ballast out of her and everything, and I just decided to reconvert her to LED, and that's what I did. None of the electrics inside of her original. Of course, I had to put new lamp holders and new wiring in, and she works fine. Okay. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Lightey, which is this is her son. Okay, there's actually two of these, a short one and a long one. This is Lightey here. As you can see, I have cleaned him up, okay, because I did show you him in the video when I showed you the F8T5 blacklight tube, and he was filthy, but now I've cleaned him up. I also updated his face from hand-drawn to electronic. Okay, you can see he's actually a lot cleaner than what he was before. There is still a bit of the ink on there from when I was younger. I actually coloured ink on him and everything, but that putting terps and everything on it has made a good improvement, and he's not so cruddy anymore. So I thought I'd show you his mother, okay? So we're going to look at Mrs. Lightey. And Mrs. Lightey is made by Peer Light. Okay, she's I don't know what line of fitting is, you'll have to look it up, but she is a fitting like this was commonly found in schools and something like that. College had fittings like this before they replaced them with LEDs. I probably should have salvaged some of them. I haven't got a Mr. Lightey yet, which will be Lightey's far. If I can get another one of these fittings, I'll make a Mr. Lightey up, but until then, I'll just have it like that. Now, that on the diffuser was something I drew on there years ago, and I tried to get it off with the turds. I couldn't really remove it. Okay, but yeah, but I'll figure a way to get that off eventually. Okay. Now, another thing that I've done is that she takes a removable cable, which is typically a computer cable, just like I did with the emergency buttons, of course. I'll show you the other Lightey. Okay, this is the longer Lightey, okay, or just Lightey's brother. And you see he's a longer user, I think is an F13 T5 fitting. Okay, I'll put them in front of Mrs. Lightey and you can see the difference in the size comparison. As you can see, Mrs. Lightey is huge, okay, but he's big, but as compared to these guys. Okay, and this one did have those Frodo Frog tattoos on him because I put those on there when I think it was when I was 10 years old or something. I put those on there. Because there was a lot of history with Lightey, because my sister, when I went up to New South Wales one year, and she made me think that I misplaced these guys, okay, which was and that really upset me, however, a few years later, I recovered them, okay. It turns out that they were never lost, okay, and as you can see, I have, now the current status of these guys is that they're all just part of my light collection. Now, I still do use these guys, I still play with them, I still play with them, I still take them around, but not as often as what I did when I was a child. Okay, I used to take these guys everywhere. I didn't do it much with Mrs. Lightey though, I always left her at home. Okay, now, the tubes I have in her, we have, on the left and the right, we have two 18-watt opal tubes, and in the middle we have a clear one. Okay, I don't have many LED tubes left, I have to get some more of them. Okay, so, but yeah, Mrs. Lightey needs to have her own tubes, alright? So this is pretty cool, having Mrs. Lightey here today to show you it. Now the face, there was a little bit of history on the face. I once drew it on by hand, and then I took some paper, then put that on there, drew it on there, then that just wore off, and then I just did it, okay, with electronics, because that's the way I'm doing these things nowadays. They're all going electronic, which is a fair enough. I'm probably going to do that with the element buttons, with their text and everything. I'm going to probably print electronically made ones out and just stick it on the buttons themselves, and then that should be good enough to help that out, but I'll probably do that later on. Okay, so let's now Mrs. Lightey's functionality. She is a freeway. It's just like the emergency button, the WireGuard one. So she has free functions. So you got low, medium, and high. Okay, and I'll show you that. With these guys only have just one function. Now these two are T5 fittings, this one's a T8 fitting. Okay, so with T8's LED tubes are available. There are T5 LED tubes coming out, but I haven't gotten any yet. The light bulb shop doesn't have any as of yet. Okay, so I'll show you the switch now. Oh yeah, this part up here. When I got Mrs. Lightey, this part was broken. Okay, when I was younger, I used some tape to hold it on, but that really didn't hold. After I refurbished it, I decided to screw it on with brackets, and that really has made an improvement. Okay, that holds on very good. Okay, I could have gone on Peerlight's website and see if I could purchase a new one of these, but yeah, I do need. Speaking of that, I have to get some new parts for the INL button and the air button because apparently some of the lamp holders are broken on them. All right, so let's take a look at the back of Mrs. Lightey. Okay, this was got a little bit of black on it when I got her. Okay, but I've repainted it. Okay, with white and made it. That's what the colour she would have been when she left the factory. Okay. So that's her normal colour, restored her to her former glory. There's the switch. It's a triple wall switch made by Delta, which is identical to Clipsal's switches. Okay, so she is a three-way function, so we can have her on low, medium, or high. Okay, and we'll demonstrate that. All right, so let's turn her on. Okay, now there's going to be instant on because it's LED. We'll turn her on low. Okay, so that's the clear tube. So that is low. That's what she looks like when she's on low. Now you can actually see through the eyes. You can see the old eyes that I hand drew on there. I also tried to get them off, but I wasn't able to. But never mind. When she's off, you can't notice it. But yeah, that's low. Okay, now I'm going to turn her on to medium. Okay, so that's medium. That will be medium. Okay, we got the two LED tubes on there. If she was still able to use fluorescent, I probably could have put a red, green, and yellow tube in there and did it like a traffic light, but I can't do that since she doesn't have any ballasts. Okay, and now we'll put her on high. Okay, so that's high. Now that is high. Okay, that's as bright as she gets. Doesn't get any brighter. Okay, that's high. Okay, and we'll take a look at the light output she puts out. She puts out a good amount of light in high mode. Okay, she puts out a good amount of light. Okay, so she does the job. The diffuser does a pretty good job, these Peerlight fittings. Okay, and Lightey puts out a decent amount of light too, despite being a traditional fluorescent lamp. Okay, I'll see if I can get some LED tubes for him, but until then, yeah, Mrs. Lightey is LED. So she has been sitting in that spot I think, ever since I got her, she's been in that spot next to me bedside. Okay, because she's a very good light. And you can see how I held them out when I used some squares of double-sided tape, and it holds them on. Okay, I just really haven't had the time to make the video of her, but now you get to see her. Okay, it's very good that you get to see some of my childhood history and everything. See Mrs. Lightey, the mother of Lightey, and so there you go. Most of the stuff is pretty historical in my past, but this is Mrs. Lightey, the mother of Lightey, so I hope you enjoyed seeing her. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll turn her off, okay, so that way, before we conclude, okay, and also we'll put Lightey in front of her, so that way for when we get to go, we will get to see the current Lightey family. Until I get a Mr. Lightey, I'll do a stereo. So there she is with her two boys. So I hope you enjoyed seeing Mrs. Lightey, and that'll be it.